All right, traders, what's up? This is a watch this video for Thursday, December 5th, showing you this buy. It gapped down yesterday, sold off, closed at its highs. Today gapped up and closed nicely above its open. It's kind of sitting here in no man's land, but suffice it to say, long story short, we're still pretty darn close to all-time highs. So what do? We just log in every day and trade what's on our watch list if they give setups, right? I'm going to highlight this real quick because I don't have KOD on the watch list for tomorrow just because it's so extended. Doesn't mean we won't give a trade, but on an intraday basis today, let me go back to the daily. I'm going to get to the watch list in just a second, but I want to explain why this was being watched today. So a few sessions ago, it had this mammoth move from 35 to over 70. So it doubles in one day, but gave back a lot of it, right? So shorts kind of won that battle by the end of the day. And look what happens the next day. It gaps down, they mounted a rally and slapped back down again. Now you've got these two topping tails. Looks like, when I see this, I would kind of expect this one to bleed lower over the next 2 weeks, right? And maybe fill the gap even. Then today, let's fast forward. Today, it gaps up into the upper half of yesterday's range. And then you can see what it did. But let me go to intraday to share what it looked like when it landed on our radar. Showing you 5-minute candles here. So there you can see yesterday's high, and there you can see that the high from the day before that was 70 whatever it was, $73 or something. And so today it's kind of chopping around right below the whole number 58. There was a seller on the tape there. You notice it topped out at basically 58 right here after almost hitting 60. Okay, so then the first bounce right up to 58. Then it's going sideways, flagging right below 58. Seller on the tape at 58. If we take out that seller, and Wayne called this through 58, the idea was it might take out the high of day. And if it takes out the high of day, very good chance we're going to take out yesterday's high. And then shorts are kind of in trouble here, right? Because those two topping tails, shorts won each of these days by the end of the day, and then all of a sudden it's breaking to the upside, and there's a potential catalyst, and there's a potential target. Anyway, so it breaks 58. Flags for a while at 60, and then just continues. And by the end of the day, somewhere in here, let me see what time this was. 2:55, almost 3 o'clock. Somewhere in here, I basically said this has a strong chance to have an end-of-day squeeze because of that daily chart I just showed you. And lo and behold, it went out at its high. There's the end-of-day squeeze. I also called this long. If you missed Wayne's call and you guys were in chat today, I called it long, kind of right about here, Tokyo style, right, with your stop right below this candle. Either one would have worked. The move was unbelievable. But what I want to really share is this. Wayne tweeted this tonight. These are his final two sells. Keep in mind, he got long at 58. He ends up selling some. Let me get this down a little. He ends up selling some at 70, all the way up here. And the last sell at 74. And by the way, if you didn't know, he sold Kern yesterday at the exact top at the end of the day. So why am I bringing this up? Wayne joined my chat room, I don't know, it had to be over a decade ago. And I just watched him trade a little better every year, and then by 2015, 2016, I contacted him and said, hey, buddy, you want to put a course together with me? And he's gotten even better since then. He is, honestly, I'm not just saying this, he is literally the best trader I've ever known, and I've been trading, decades. I don't have the kind of patience and consistency and steady process that he does. He's like a machine. Anyway, Wayne, I'm not trying to throw you into when you watch this, I'm not trying to throw you into what did you call it, a cleanse? Every time you give someone a huge compliment, they always think, oh, that's going to jinx me. But I honestly mean it. He's like a machine. He's not lucky. He follows a process. I have a process. We teach it in the course. I'm just not as disciplined as him. I very rarely hold until the end of the day and sell into a squeeze like that. It's very impressive. All right. Anyway, let me get into the watch list. I don't want to give him too big of a head. But here's what I'm watching tomorrow. DRIO. I don't love this, but it did gap up and sell off. And again, this is that look again. When you get this, a big volume day and it, topping tail and it closes at the low of day, oftentimes, kind of like here, although this wasn't a gap, but you get these topping tails that usually just bleed lower. And this one is curling back up again. So it kind of reminds me a little bit of CGIX. Did that gap there and started curling back up again. It took about a week and then it squeezed. MYOV did the same thing, right? Gapped up, looked like it was rolling over, right? Long's in trouble, and the next thing you know, it squeezes. Neither one of those happened like the third day, so keep that in mind. But I'm going to put it on our radar going into tomorrow because it is already starting to curl up on the second day. All right, so we want to watch that one. AVXL, really nice volume move and a fairly strong close. We're going to watch that one tomorrow. BPTH. By the way, somebody replied to one of my tweets. I think it was on KRTX. I made a video showing how it was a perfect bounce play setup that day, and it moved like $6 or $7 in our favor. And the reply was something like, yeah, but ... And then they showed some charts like, where's it going from here? And that's somebody who doesn't know me. I'm a day trader. I'm in cash every night. I don't care what KRTX does after I pull $6 or $7 out of it on an intraday basis, right? I'm in cash every night. So people think somehow a really big mover, like a KOD today. Well, if it opens at $30 tomorrow, people will say, hey, you suck. I'll be like, no, I don't. We traded it intraday. We're not holding any of that now. So a lot of people don't understand. A true day trader, we find the intraday A+ setups, and I don't care what it does once I'm out. As Wayne likes to say, we rent them. All right, anyway, BPTH is kind of obscure, and it got beaten up back here, I think, on an off-ray and chopped around. Usually I wouldn't play something like this because there's so many bag holders in this. But it had a decent volume spike today and a decent close. I'm going to switch to 5-minute candles. You can kind of see it there. The excitement was building. I thought, yeah, it's going to roll back over. The daily chart looks like crap. And it ends up going out at its high. So for that reason, I went ahead and said, you know what, I'm going to watch it tomorrow. Maybe we get an A+ setup in it, right? Maybe we don't. Who knows? IMGN, let me pan out so you can see this setup a little better. Had this spike back here to 410, and then today went out at basically $4 on decent volume. I like it tomorrow if it can open, below today's high. Maybe you open in the 380s, 390s. I like it through 4. Then we've got a 403 catalyst to break up today's high, and then you've got that potential 410 break as another catalyst. So I do want to watch that one. AUPH. This one, I normally wouldn't have a stock like this on watch, right? It's stupid extended to the upside, but if you don't know this already, it's trading at 8. I can't talk. It looks like after hours is closed now. It went to, I think 25 at one point, but it went out at 1845 on news. So it's basically going to open at all-time highs if you don't count the after hours run to 25. And some of these biotechs have been going insane. And so we're going to watch that one on the gap up tomorrow. Oh, geez, what was that example from today? Well, if it comes to me, I'll show it. Oh, you know what? Never mind, I don't have it in front of me. All right, so that's AUPH, OTLK. Had this big pop yesterday, kind of a quiet inside day today. I don't love it because it's not near yesterday's high, but we are going to watch it. Peloton, PTON, potential bounce tomorrow. Had a huge move. Now we got a couple red days. I would right down to the middle of that buy zone before it bounced. Worth watching tomorrow. I would have kind of preferred that to go out at its lows. It would make me like the bounce play setup a little better. ORMP, huge move here from I don't know, the move really started around $3 and went to almost 6. Now you got 2 days lower on declining volume. Again, I prefer them to get down here in the buy zone, but sometimes they're strong enough that they don't get that far down. ALK is the one I was just thinking of. Let me go to 5-minute candles and show you what happened. So this moved up so quickly on them talking about putting themselves up for sale that it halted on a volatility halt, and then it opened here. And when it started to come down, I called this, I didn't really call it an idea. I basically said, hey, watch this and it getting near mid-buy zone. And I'll be darned, it held 125 to the penny. And then ended up going. So the point here, and I didn't call this, I didn't take it. I was actually bidding slightly below 125. I missed my bid by like 40 cents. But point being, it went from 125, it went up like, I don't know, $12. So even, a lot of people would say, hey, I missed this move. Oh, well, that would have been nice. This is just further proof of that buy zone pullback idea. Again, didn't get it, full disclosure. I was bidding on it, literally right where my cursor is. But a $12 move in it, even after that insane move. So keep this in mind, especially traders in my chat room. We miss a big move, start thinking buy zone pullback. There's a lot of money to be made on some of these, even if you miss it. But in my defense, I was bidding on that one. And you know what? This isn't on the watch list, but maybe it should be. ORMP, I went through. BCEL, this one's thin. Not even 500,000 shares on this move from 10 to almost 14 yesterday. And then you had an inside day to day. I doubt I'll trade that. I think it's going to be really thin and spready, but it caught my attention yesterday, so I'm throwing it on watch today. CLXT, also a big move, then a quiet inside day. A couple more. CANF. I actually like this one a lot. You had the gap up here. The breakout through 4 was significant on this one. And then, and let me zoom in a little bit now that you've seen the longer chart. Then next thing you know, rolling right back over, and we all think, hey, CANF is done, right? That was a fun little pop. And boom, right back up. And it topped out at basically the half. So through 450, you've got another potential catalyst here of the 470 break, and then maybe a run at this 495. So I do like this setup. It's coiled, right? So let's keep an eye on CANF. And then finally, NVAX, which had this really nice 2-day move from like 4 to over 550. Then a couple days lower, but closing at its highs. That one goes on long watch for tomorrow. That's way too much to watch, but and we'll add some gappers in the pre-market, but let's keep the teamwork going. And hats off, Wayne, man. You just impress me more every day. All right, I'm done babbling.